Okay, problem number 21. Alright, this problem is, it's difficult. So it's going to be what we call a 3-step SOHCAHTOA problem. Okay? And then we're going to get into 4-step SOHCAHTOA problems. Okay? This is a area problem. And so with that, we should note that area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 base times height. I'm going to call it big B times big H. Alright? So, with that known, let's label a couple things. Okay? The first thing we want to label is, we want to label the height. That's H. Okay? We also want to label the base. That's big B. Okay? Alright, so it's base times height times 1/2. Once we have those two pieces, we're good to go. So we got to find a couple things, right? So we need to find, we need to find this piece, right? So we could call that X. Okay? If we find that piece, we can add it to this piece, and that'll give us big B. And then we need to find H. So what do you want to find first? Is I guess the question. Okay? So you circle what you have, and you kind of look for, is there something where you have two pieces and you're looking for a third? Okay? And so when I'm looking at this, I see that I have this angle, I have this side, right? And on that place where I have a side, I also have an angle. So I have two things and I'm looking for one thing, so that's what I would start with. Does that make sense? So, I want to label everything with respect to this 50. So with respect to the 50, is this the opposite side, adjacent side, or hypotenuse? Opposite. Okay. So that's the opposite. So is 42 adjacent or hypotenuse to 50? Adjacent. Okay? Alright, so with that, we know that we're going to look for A and O. So we look up here to see where A and O is, and O and A is tangent. So I know that the tangent of 50 degrees is equal to the opposite, right? I know that this is equal to the opposite over the adjacent, TOA, right? So the opposite side is H. And the adjacent is 42. Okay? So once I know that, now I can solve for H. But before I do that, let's make this a 2-column proof. Why can we say this? Definition of SOHCAHTOA. Okay? So that's your first step. Okay? Your second step. I'm going to get H alone. How would I get H alone if it's being divided by 42? Yeah, always the opposite. Multiply by 42. So that means I'm going to multiply this side by 42. So I get my second step is 42 tangent 50, right, is equal to H. And all that is multiplication property of equality. Now that's not too bad, right? And then we simplify. So we throw it in our calculator. Alright. So we want to throw it in the calculator, right? And do 42 times the tangent of 50. And there it is, 50.05. Now, this, the rules is that they want you to round off to the nearest tenth, right? All the way through. So, when we go to simplify this, right? So this is simplify, okay? We're going to go, it's 50.05, so we're going to go 50.1, okay, is equal to H. So now we know what H is. H is equal to 50.1. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're almost there. We have H. So now we have to find B. But to find B, I need to find X. Okay? Alright, so how am I going to find X? The same way. Okay? I have H now. I have 30. Right? 30 degrees. Okay? So, and I'm looking for X. So again, with respect, see how these brown, this is opposite and this is adjacent? What is X with respect to 30 degrees? Is that opposite? Is it adjacent? Opposite. Okay? And then what is H with respect to 30 degrees? Adjacent. Just remember, adjacent means that you're next to it. Okay? Next to it. So this is next to 30, so it's adjacent. Okay? So see how it's different now. Okay? That's key. It might be opposite of 50, but it's adjacent to 30. Okay? Now, I can now do the math of plugging it in. What am I going to use that has opposite and adjacent? So which one of these has opposite and adjacent? Tangent. So again, I'm going to use tangent. I'm going to say that the tangent of 30 degrees is equal to X over H, which is 50.1. Okay? And again, that is the definition of SOHCAHTOA. Okay? Now, how do I get X alone? Yeah, we're going to multiply by 50.1. Okay? So what I get is 50.1 tangent 30 is equal to X. And that is multiplication property of equality. Okay? Alright. Then I'm going to plug that into the calculator. Okay? So again, we're going to go 50.1 tangent 30 equals 28.992. So 28.92 is going to be rounded off to 28.9 equals X. And that is simplifying, right? Okay. How do I find B? B is equal to what? Yeah, X plus 42, right? Okay, so then that's, what do we call that? When we take two segments and we add them. That's it. Segment, addition, postulate. So that's using chapter 1.